Dude, Spaceboy CT Studios legit just ran into my room and shook me and said, Xander, you gotta wake up! You gotta wake up, please! Xander, wake up! They hit the Pentagon! Movies, we love them. Video games, we love them. Video game movies? Mario and Sonic are cool. Video game movies have the sad history of and such. When one notably doesn't do too good, it can lead to a whole misfire of canceled movies. With that, these are just a few of the most notable video game movie cancellations. Assassin's Creed 2. Oh no, what would we have done without Michael Fassbender? I think I speak for most Assassin's Creed fans when I say the 2016 movie was about the same quality as— What is that? This would have been a sequel to the first movie, most likely taking elements of the second game. But as we know, the first film was absolutely decimated by critics and audiences, and the sequel was scrapped. Disney's acquisition of Fox and then canceling several projects didn't help either. Hated the first film, so I'm good. Bioshock Universal Pictures. For years, Bioshock fans have wondered, does anybody like me? I sure don't! How do I, as a Mega Man fan, have more street cred than you sad losers? One of the attempts to make a Bioshock movie was from Take-Two Interactive and Universal. The budget of this film was way out of proportion, especially around the time they wanted to make this movie, 2008. It was a gamble. Gore Verbinski was initially brought in as the director. Yes, that Gore Verbinski. However, Verbinski wanted the film to be rated R, but Universal refused to push past a PG-13 rating. The film was just a mess, and Universal just opted to cancel the film as it seemed easier. But Netflix announced they'd be making an adaptation back in 2022. Who knows, maybe Bioshock fans will finally get their movie. I'm a Sly Cooper fan, so it's okay. Call of Duty. In 2015, it was announced a movie based on the most popular first-person shooter of all time, Call of Duty, was being developed with plans to make a Call of Duty cinematic universe. Ah, damn. Marvel gave the industry that old cinematic universe bug because tell me where the hell we can go from the first film of this. Yuck. Stefano Sollima, director of such films as Fuck All, was initially slated to direct. Of course, Activision eventually said, nah, and scrapped plans. We don't even know which game this would have taken from, though speculation suggests one of the popular games like Modern Warfare or Black Ops. Not the biggest Call of Duty fan, so I'm indifferent here. Castlevania. Strap in, folks, there are paragraphs on this page. This film would have taken from the popular Transylvania-themed hack-and-slash Metroidvania games from the 80s and 90s. Development started in the 2000s with James Wan. Bitch, I didn't even finish. Actually, James Wan wasn't even the original director. Instead, it was Paul W.S. Anderson. Okay, that makes sense. The director of Mortal Kombat 1995 and that weird-ass Monster Hunter movie. Oh, he would have done wonders. Producer Jeremy Bolt expressed deep interest in the project and even hoped to get the game's original composer, Michiru Yamane, I'm sorry if I botched that, to compose for the film. The film just had a huge production behind it, with multiple script rewrites, which was only the first issue. Lots of production problems came, and eventually, the film was scrapped around 2009. Some cool stuff resurfaced recently, most notably this alternate poster from 2007, and James Wan himself posted a picture of an animatronic that would have been used in the film. It's pretty cool to see remnants of what could have been. We did eventually get the Netflix series, and I think I speak for most when I say that one suffices just fine. Crazy Taxi. In 2001, Goodman Rosen Productions announced they'd be working on a movie based on Sega's Crazy Taxi. Reportedly, there were two different attempts to get the film off the ground, with one even having a somewhat solid release date of mid-2003. Constant delays, absent of plot elements, the studio struggling to make a cohesive story, it all led to the film rights being juggled around and relapsing, and eventually, it just never came to be. How could you make a Crazy Taxi movie? Well, maybe Sega would have seen the value of it. And now they just see the value of Sonic. Oh, look at that, a whopping $2. Crimson Skies. This was a planned adaptation of the Microsoft Crimson Skies series announced back in 2001 to be developed at DreamWorks. There's practically no info on this movie, and the only source of DreamWorks working on it is an old IGN article from 2001. And it's not even DreamWorks Animation, it's just the general company. Never played Crimson Skies, so I don't know. Detective Pikachu 2. So this was initially on the canceled movie wiki, but it's flagged for misinformation, so I don't know. I guess it would have been a sequel to the original. Doom 2 Hell on Earth. This would have been a sequel to 2005's Doom, pass. Elf Bowling 2, pass. Five Nights at Freddy's Chris Columbus version. I think I speak for most fans of FNAF when I say the journey of getting a FNAF movie was actually better than the film itself. It's notable that the film rights went through several different people and studios, and Chris Columbus was one of the most notable examples. The announcement of his involvement coming in 2018. However, in 2021, producer Jason Blum of Blumhouse announced Columbus wasn't working on the film anymore. Reasons are unknown. The film eventually did see release in 2023, so we got that. Five Nights at Freddy's Warner Brothers version. This is one of the funniest train wrecks I have ever seen in any canceled movie. This would have been Warner Brothers' take on the film. I'm not even going to try to sum up everything, but the animatronics didn't work on set and they looked like this. Warner Brothers couldn't hold the rights to FNAF. They tried releasing the film before the release of Pizzeria Simulator, which was the finale of the main story. The budget was too expensive, they just kept auditioning directors and shit. Willem Dafoe would have played William Afton. Oh my god, that possibly is the only good replacement for Lillard at this point. The film was just a mess, however, some good did come from it. I think Blumhouse definitely understood what made FNAF special and such. I do believe they were the better studio to handle it. Warner Brothers did eventually help make the Banana Splits movie, and that's a whole other story. Oh, and Gil Keenan was supposed to direct this one. This is a total train wreck and I love it. God of War. Hey, y'all see that trilogy remaster announcement? Shit. Actually, it's a full-on remake. That's kind of cool. This would have been based on the first game with Kratos killing Ares. Zeus! I'm sorry. Zeus! I'm sorry. I'm having a Zeus! The game's creator, David Jaffe, kept details very scarce. The director was unknown, the actor was unknown, with the only fact that he was very good if he was confirmed to be true. Oh, so they finally listened to my fan casting. It's unknown what happened to this film, as basically no info exists other than small segments. Needless to say, God of War has gotten a lot of love from Sony, so it missing out on a movie isn't too bad. Halo. This would have been an adaptation of the popular Halo series, one I have never played. Whoops, I think I just triggered the Four Horsemen. This would have had the director Neil Blomkamp and producer Peter Jackson on board. Lots of reasons this didn't go anywhere. Production issues, poor funding, which when you consider this film's summer 2009 planned release date, yeah, that wasn't exactly the time to put serious money into a film like this. Both Blomkamp and Jackson went on to do better projects. But the funniest reason for this film's cancellation was, reportedly, the script was really bad. And this was well written? Yeah, reminder, we got a Halo TV show, don't worry, a lot of people forget it exists. Back on the budget, Blomkamp reported it was around $120 million, which is surprisingly not a lot for a sci-fi film in the mid-2000s. What? No. What's no? What happened? What did you do? Oh, the Halo TV. The Halo TV show! Yeah, kind of a mess. Lara Croft Tomb Raider 3. This was planned to be the third Lara Croft movie to star Angelina Jolie as the titular character. The second film, Cradle of Life, didn't do too hot, despite the first film being considered one of the better video game adaptations of the time. Again, the time being that. They did reboot the series with Alicia Vikander in 2018, and hey, she only got one movie, Mega Man.
I'm a Mega Man fan, Bioshock fans have it so rough, pussy.
Yeah, there were plans to make a Mega Man movie around 2015, yeah right. Capcom barely acknowledges Mega Man anniversaries, you expect me to believe a movie would have happened? Minecraft.
Chicken jockey! This would have been a version of the Minecraft movie that would have starred Steve Carell instead of Jack Black. Oh yeah, he's dead.
Monument Valley. In 2018, Paramount had plans to adapt the popular indie game Monument Valley into a movie, with director Patrick Osborne, a notable name behind films like Nimona, I Am Legend, and the director of a short film called Pearl. Knowing those projects, I think it's fair to say if this ever did come to light, considering Monument Valley as a game, I'd gladly check it out. Mortal Kombat 3. This would have been the third in the lineup of the 90s movies based on the hit fighting game that made parents big mad. Of course, if you've ever seen one clip of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, you'll know exactly why they canceled it. Om the movie. This one sucks. In 2016, it was announced the hit mobile game Cut the Rope would receive a movie based on its main protagonist, Om, the cutest little bugger. It would have had a similar plot to the Cut the Rope comic in the first season of Om stories. It's sad to say, but the biggest speculation of why this film never happened was because of Cut the Rope's declining popularity over the years. Announcements went cold, and sadly, Om never got his movie. But he's gonna get this candy, trust me, god damn it! Plants vs. Zombies. I've talked about this once, so I'll make it quick. Plants vs. Zombies was gonna get a movie over at DreamWorks, but management issues and scheduling conflicts made the film nearly impossible to get done. This concept art should tell you everything. This would have been one of the best DreamWorks films by a long shot, so it sucks it never happened. Portal or Half-Life. In 2013, J.J. Abrams' company Bad Robot Productions had announced plans to adapt either Portal or Half-Life into a film. Thankfully, this one has sort of a good ending. Abrams announced in 2021 that a Portal movie was still happening. He even expressed interest in J.K. Simmons reprising his role as Cave Johnson in Portal 2. As for Half-Life, Abrams did announce that he had basically no involvement if there was an adaptation. Postal 2. This would have been a sequel to the Postal movie from Huey Bowl. Rabbids. Oh look, the reason Raymond died. In 2014, Sony Pictures Animation announced they'd be working with Ubisoft to make a Rabbids movie. The project moved to Lionsgate in 2019, and yeah, it'd be better to get canceled than to be released by Lionsgate. Ratchet & Clank 2. Yeah, right. Resident Evil Original. Before Paul W.S. Anderson did whatever the fuck he did to Resident Evil, George A. Romero was asked to direct a Resident Evil film with some notable changes from the game. Biggest reason for the replacement was Romero's script. Capcom didn't really like it and chose the guy who directed a choice. Well, to be fair, Capcom also doesn't like Mega Man, I'm never letting it go. You can actually view the script online with a quick search. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Again, how? I talked about this one before. It was in development by Sony Pictures Animation, and that's all she wrote. The plot just doesn't work. Biggest thing is that the series went through a huge decline over the years. But who knows, maybe you can make a movie based on Roller Coaster Tycoon World, Sonic Armageddon. This was one of the many early attempts at a Sonic movie, this one having Ken Penders at the helm. Nope. Sonic the Hedgehog Original. Probably one of the most infamous, my friends. This refers to the original Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which was released back in 2019. If you were there for the original movie's trailers, you'd flip your shit. What is that? That's that face my uncle made, and that's why he ain't invited to Thanksgiving anymore. He also put his dick in the mashed potatoes, but that's a whole other story. This original version of the film got so much backlash, the film was delayed to 2020, and thank God it was. The movies are now beloved by fans and such, it's a good idea they delayed the film and reworked Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sony Pictures Animation. This had a similar concept to the film we got with Sony Pictures Animation at the helm. The biggest change is my favorite death of acting, Chris Pratt as Tom. The design didn't get the ravest reviews, and eventually, things shifted to Paramount. Spore. Mentioned this one before, it would have been based on the simulation game Yada Yada. Street Fighter 2.
You knew it was gonna be a Spore movie.
Yeah, man. I've talked about it in one of my previous videos.
That would have been fucking peak.
Right, and it never happened. It's okay, buddy. Hey, listen.
Damn it, these fucking suits!
And hey, if it makes you feel,
swear to God!
If it makes you feel any better, there was gonna be a Bioshock game, but they canceled that too. Hey, here you go. Street Fighter 2. This would have been a sequel to the 1994
Damn!
Super Mario Bros. Original. This was an original version of what became the 1993 film. It was slated to star Danny DeVito as Mario. Okay, I see the vision, but geez, that was a flashbang. Tom Hanks as Luigi? Oh hell no! And I thought Illumination was high. Who they got? Meg Ryan as Peach. Okay, that's not terrible. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Bowser. Nah, I'm good.
Ice!
Okay.
I heard the princess. I put the mushroom down. I put the fire flower down. Put it down.
Super Mario Bros. 2 live action. I said I'm good. Super Smash Bros. Because of a hack in Sony's emails, it was revealed there was interest in making a movie based on Nintendo's smash hit. Apparently, while it never made it past the brainstorming process, the guys behind Detective Pikachu actually have interest in the idea and how to make it happen. If it ain't anything like that ad with them all beating the shit out of each other, I don't want it. Oh, fuck you, Pikachu! The Curse of Monkey Island. You wanna do your thing?
God damn it!
In 2011, there were plans to make a film based on Curse of Monkey Island. There's a big plot leak about this film, so you can check that out for yourself. Production and budget issues plagued this film, and Universal really was stern of their approval of the film. Sucks to say, I would have liked to see this one. The Last of Us. Yeah, because the show did so well, right?
Son of a bitch!
This was around 2014 when they discussed plans to make Last of Us into a movie with potential director Neil Druckmann and potential producer Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi!
Take that, Sam Raimi!
Motherfucker!
Would have followed the plot of the game. Cool. The Legend of Spyro 3D. This was going to be based on the hit platformer series Spyro the Dragon, specifically Legend of Spyro, with writers Daniel and Steven Altier. Writers behind... Pass. The Legend of Zelda Original. This was an initial planned film based on Legend of Zelda, which would have been helmed by Imagi Studios. Of course, Imagi Studios decided to release Astro Boy and go broke, so the film was cancelled. It's also notable that Nintendo didn't really care to greenlight films for their games at the time due to the 1993 Mario film. The Neverhood. In 2007, Doug TenNapel, the creator of Neverhood, was planning to direct a claymation film based on the hit game. Lack of funding plagued this one, sadly. Untitled Crash Bandicoot film.
What the fuck, son of a bitch!
Hey, they're making a Netflix show.
What? That, damn it, Netflix!
In 2015, there were discussions of making a Crash Bandicoot film at Sony Pictures Animation. The project never fell through, though current Crash developer Toys for Bob have talked about the potential of a film as early as 2023 when the Mario movie released. Untitled Klonoa film. Back in 2016, there were plans to make a film based on the game Klonoa. Development was slow, and by 2019, the film was scrapped, mostly because nobody with a pulse in 2019 cared about Klonoa. Poor guy. Sly Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, the cream of the crop. The absolute most known video game movie cancellation of all time. This would have been a movie based on the hit PS2 trilogy, Sly Cooper. With plans to release in 2016, there's even a full trailer out for the film. Some notable issues including the dying popularity of the series, Ratchet and Clank bombing, and letting Sony know, hey, never the fuck mind. Just a lot of shit. Hey, Spaceboy CD Studios, take it away, I'm tired.
So the canceled Sly Cooper movie is a bit of an odd one, especially when you think about how it was announced or whatever. For those who don't know about the Sly Cooper franchise, it's a PlayStation 2 franchise about a suave raccoon and the last in a line of master thieves who steal from criminals, seeking revenge to reclaim the Fabius Raccoonus, a family book of secrets stolen by the Fiendish Five, who murdered Sly's parents, led by an owl named Clockwork. Orphaned, Sly teams up with his best friends, tech genius Bentley the Turtle and strongman Murray the Hippo, forming the Cooper Gang to hunt down each member of the Fiendish Five, recover the book's pages, and restore his family's legacy, all while dodging sexy Interpol officer Gamlia Fox.
Sexy is right,
So you
space
have
boy.
the main 3 games for the PS2 developed by Sucker Punch Productions, a 4th game for the PS3 developed by Sunzal Games, a cancelled PSP game which was supposed to be developed not by High Impact Games, but rather THQ's Video Games, before being involved with the Darksiders games, and then, exactly, nothing else. They haven't gotten a new game since 2013. I feel bad for the people behind this. But anyways, a movie adaptation was rumored or leaked back in 2012, before officially being confirmed in 2014 with a teaser being released. The teaser itself was actually a bit of a pitch. Canadian guy A explained it a bit better in his video, but basically, in a nutshell, you could tell it was a pitch, and I don't know why one media was told to release it when it was just a pitch. But anyways, it was supposed to be directed by TMNT and Ratchet & Clank director Kevin Monroe, and the film would have been made by Blockade Entertainment and Sony Interactive Entertainment, with the series creator Sucker Punch Productions being involved with it. And both Jiangsu Broadcasting Corporation and Cinema Management Group were practically gonna handle financing. This also would have been the 3rd theatrical film to be animated by Waymaker Entertainment, nowadays known as Mainframe Studios, who previously had the first 2 films, Escape from Planet Earth and the 2016 Ratchet & Clank movie. Of course, the new 3rd film, and surprisingly the 4th film, are gonna be 2 upcoming films titled Heroes at Large and Silver Sentinel, in collab with GFM Animation and Waymaker's parent company, Cartoon Studios. Anyways, the OG VAs of Bentley and Murray came back for the pitch, but Sly's VA, Kevin Miller, wasn't asked to be brought in, and was instead casted by Ian James Collette for some reason. Again, this was a pitch. If it actually got picked up, I guarantee you they probably would have brought back Kevin Miller. There were also rumors of Gamlia Fox being voiced by Idina Menzo, who previously voiced Elsa from Frozen and Frozen 2, and is one of the possible VAs for Lilith Morningstar for Hazbin Hotel. Oh, and if you're wondering why the film got cancelled, it was for a good chunk of factors, including the box office failure of the 2016 Ratchet & Clank movie, probably because outside being promoted by Smosh, its marketing was the exact same as the marketing for Whoopi Gilman Teenage Kraken. Non-existent.
That's a good one.
So yeah, as a result, they tried to reevaluate the timing, budget, and release plans for the film, and then all of a sudden, Waymaker left the fucking film in 2017. They then tried having Technical and PGS revive it as a TV show, but that never really went anywhere, and the show got removed from the pages. And based on how Technicolor literally went out of business earlier this year, resulted to the shutdown of Jellyfish Pictures, and Woody Effects buying Miko's animation, it's safe to say the show's definitely cancelled. Oh, also, about that pitch, they made Bentley look like an Ice Age character, and they also made Sly look like a weird-ass Rocket Raccoon knockoff. By the way, why that face, Sly?
Because he sees Carmelita's sexy ass. What do you think?
And if you think this movie's cancellation is sad,
The fuck is that laugh?
you ain't ready for anything yet, dear viewers, because this isn't even the first time a Sly Cooper movie pitch was rejected. I actually showed A Crazy Nights director Seth Kiesling on X/Twitter to be exact, a fan-made Sly Cooper movie poster I made one time, and he said, and I quote, "Would look pretty cool if they did a similar look to the bad guys for it." I actually pitched it to Sony after 8 Crazy Nights, but I don't think they were ready for a movie based on a video game. Now, I think we're moving from an era of the comic book movie and into the era of video game movies. Basically, this was around the time after Final Fantasy The Spirits Within bombed. But basically, yeah, Seth Kiesling also planned a Sly Cooper movie. And when I asked him about its Witcher status, he said, and I quote, "No status, just mentioned it to our executive, and they weren't into it." So, yeah, this one was definitely heartbreaking, but it was also definitely very weird, too. But honestly, with a slight rise of PlayStation productions, I think a Sly Cooper movie revival made by them and Sony Pictures, alongside the collaboration of potentially Universal, DreamWorks Animation, and Story Kitchen, would be a good idea. Sure, I know people said that the Sly Cooper movie could just come from Sony Pictures Animation, but me personally, I think this would be a lot better if it came from PlayStation and DreamWorks. Give it to directors Troy Crane, Nick Bruno, let the Witcher Games writers join in, have Michael Giacchino do the film's score composition, and it'll probably work out well. But those are just my thoughts. Now, if you excuse me, I have to figure out whether or not Illumination's upcoming Cut the Rope movie is actually a revival of the canceled Cut the Rope movie that Blockade Entertainment was also supposed to make. Have a great day, Xander. Spaceboy CT out.
Hey Xander, it's me, Sean the Sea Lion. I thought I'd tell you that I'm directing a movie, and it's based on Planet Coaster.
Really? The Planet Coaster is one of my favorite movies. Do you have a trailer?
I sure do.
Put it on, put it on! What the hell is this place? What the hell? Oh no. Who are you? I am the roller coaster tycoon. Guys, I don't trust him. So this is some sort of... Don't say it. Don't you fucking say it. Planet Coaster? Oh my god, no.
I see you thinking twice.
We don't save the magic. Planet Coaster will live and die.
Oh, don't tell me there's gonna be 2 orphans who have to find their dad in the magical world.
We gotta go find our dad.
Son of a bitch!
Hold on tight, slide a little closer.
What is this place? This is a thrill coaster. You ride it and you get your thrill up. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll believe that when pigs fly, all right? Woo, woo, woo! You believe me now? Yep.
It's a roller coaster.
So what'd you think?
Sean, you're lucky my ass is not throwing you in the stove and serving you up with mashed potatoes. What the fuck is that? Sean, that's one of my favorite video games of all time, and you're ruining it for me. This is literally just what they did with the Minecraft movie, but worse. It's, oh yeah, no. What is that, Joe Burrow?